Mike Butcher of TechCrunch, and I'm here with Kevin Spacey. We're here at the World Economic Forum, Davos. Kevin, it's your first time at Davos. What do you think of it?
It's been incredible. The last couple of days, I came not really knowing what to expect. Obviously, I've heard about this forum for a long time and have wanted to come. And so I really came here to learn, to listen.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of really interesting people, and obviously people that some of whom I know who've had incredible accomplishments. So it's a real honor to be here.
You're working with a company, the WiseKey. You're talking about what they're doing in terms of cybersecurity. Is it an issue that's been important to you?
Yeah, I've always been fascinated by the space, and now that I'm the chairman of Relativity Studios, in sort of light of the Sony hacks last year, I think it's prudent for anybody in my position, and frankly anybody in any business. As we know, Target was hacked, and a lot of other organizations have gone through that. So I'm here to meet and talk with a lot of these particular experts who understand how you can try to create enough walls to be able to protect your intellectual property, your content. So I take it seriously, but I'm more prudent about it. I think there was a headline today that I feared another attack, which I never said.
Yeah.
But I think it's just prudent.
What's your feeling about technology generally? I mean, do you use it? Do you use a smartphone? What do you use?
I suppose I'm as active as anybody, in using phones, using computers, being fascinated by the things that we can do that help us live life, make it more convenient, make it easier. And so all of those things that we can now do with our phone, that means that if you can connect to your house and turn on the heat or turn on the lights or undo the alarm or turn on your car, all of the things that we can do mean that if somebody can hack into that, then they can hack into your personal information. And so all of these areas where we want to just try to protect ourselves is a fascinating thing, and I felt if by investing in WiseKey, I can get a better seat at the table.
You obviously have had a massive hit with House of Cards on Netflix, and Netflix obviously has made this huge announcement about going to so many more jurisdictions. What do you think the possibilities are for artists to go global in this manner now?
Look, I think the world has changed in so many ways. When I started out, you had to have a really good amount of luck. You had to be in Los Angeles or be in New York. You had to knock on doors. You had to know the right people. You had to have an agent. And now, if you have an internet connection and an idea, you can find a global audience. We have all these examples of kids that are singing in their kitchens and then they get a record deal. People who have incredible amounts of people following them on their YouTube channels. So the barrier to entry has really changed. It's kind of incredibly exciting. Now, for those of us in the entertainment business who spent a lot of time building walls up, you can't get in unless, we have to pay attention and we have to be interested in learning about these new talents. It's no longer the case where we necessarily have to go out to the Comedy Store or go out to the theater or go out to the thing, although I love it when people do. I think it's incredibly important to also be there, see it in person. But it's also there on the web, and all we have to do is pay attention to it and reach out to it, and we will find and discover remarkable talent.
There was a wonderful parody of Silicon Valley called Silicon Valley, which you might have caught. I don't know if you caught it.
I know the show, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Do you feel that Silicon Valley is ripe for parody in that manner?
Well, everybody's ripe for parody. But I actually think that we are going to see probably in the next number of years that Silicon Valley is going to get much more involved in content. I will not be surprised if one of the big companies ends up buying a studio. It seems to me that's where things are headed. They want to be in the content business. It's the same thing I felt 8 or so years ago about a company like Yahoo or Google or Netflix. Those people that had made a gazillion amount of money in being a porthole for entertainment, if they wanted to get in the content business, they wanted to compete, they were going to have to start doing their own production. So it didn't surprise me when Netflix stepped up eventually.
You mentioned earlier that you're passionate about the economic divide between people. Are you passionate also about the digital divide, about access to technology?
Yeah, I think that the more people can have access, the more that all of these new developments that can help all of us around the world. You know, if somebody who is really poor in a country where they could get a bank loan and get some property and build a home, if they could do that because they have an ability to technically be online, be able to identify themselves, be counted, that can change the world. So it's fantastic all this interconnectivity is happening, but it's important we make sure that there's not a whole lot of people left behind.
Kevin Spacey, thank you for coming to talk to TechCrunch.
You bet. Thank you.
Pleasure.